Everyone films Egypt the same way. Wide shot, pyramid, camel, done. I'm a filmmaker from Pakistan. I went for 11 days, alone in August. The month it's too hot for anyone else to come. On my first day, a shopkeeper looked at me and asked me a question that I could not answer. It took me 11 days and a mountain to find that answer. 11 days, peak heat, deep off season. Cairo, Luxor, Al Fayoum, Red Sea, Siwa, Mount Sinai. I went in August. Empty pyramids, empty hotels, empty everything. People asked if I was worried about traveling Egypt alone. The only thing that worried me was running out of light before I ran out of the footage. The shopkeeper was in Cairo. It was a Friday. I wore shalwar kameez and walked toward a mosque, not to film, to pray in it. I was the only one in the frame dressed like home. And every face that turned knew exactly which home that was. He looked up and asked me, "You are Pakistani? Why don't your people come here?" I didn't have an answer on day one, so I went to find one. Cairo is a 1300-year-old city that wears every century at once. I spend my days walking it. I am Pakistani, so I already knew this kind of street. The shape of it, the sound of it, the way a whole economy moves at the speed of one slow conversation. Most travelers find Cairo overwhelming. I found it familiar. A few days in, I was training in a gym, shirtless, the way I would anywhere else. A man stopped me. He pointed at the street outside. "Women pass right there," he said. "Cover up." I almost got offensive. Then I realized he was right, and he said that kindly. The way you correct someone, you assume will understand. That's the part travel videos skip. The strangers who hold a standard. The ones who notice what you're doing and quietly expect better of you. You don't get that in a country that's been overfilmed. You get that in a country that recognizes you. By the end of Cairo, a shopkeeper's question was not something I had to answer. It was something I had to go and find the truth of, which meant leaving the city.
Bismillah. Salt and pepper and cumin. Okay, together. Vinegar with garlic. And it's chili. And it and lemon mixed together. And tomato. Yummy, yummy. Another fried onion. Chickpeas, sorry. Last flavor fried onion. Wow. You know? Bon appetit.
نعم في
I was in Luxor at 3 in the morning. Because the temples open before the heat does. That was a practical reason. The ancient Egyptians built Luxor on a split. On the east bank, the temples Karnak, Luxor Temple, the living city. The light hits this side first, cross the Nile, and everything inverts. On the west bank, the Valley of the Kings, the city of the dead. The light hits this side last. They built an entire religion onto the geography. Sunrise was life, sunset was death. You lived in the east, you were buried in the west.
Here is statue from Algeria, Data. This is statue here from Algeria.
Statue of Osiris?
Yes, down bit here.
Okay.
Dedicated sarcophage.
This is his mummy?
Yeah.
Right?
No, sarcophage is that.
He's in Cairo.
Yeah, Cairo, Medina.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Fayoum was the day I did not plan anything. A couple of hours from Cairo, crater of green farmland and lakes dropped into the middle of the desert. My driver took one look at me and decided the plan was everything. After we climbed to a cave above the water and made red tea. For the first time on the whole trip, Egypt was not asking me anything. And I was not trying to figure it out. We just sat there. From the desert, I went to sea. Sharm El Sheikh on the Red Sea. The one part of Egypt that looks like a brochure. I almost skipped it for exactly that reason. I had never dived before. The first minute underwater, every instinct told me this was wrong. Then it stopped fighting me. The noise of the whole trip went quiet. And a wall of fish I had no names for moved around me like I'd always been there. That's the thing I kept noticing in Egypt. On land and underwater. The place kept deciding I belonged before I had done anything to earn it. At night, coast lights itself up like a film set. I had been told to be careful here. Mostly I just watched a quiet town turn into colorful after dark and felt again oddly at home in a place I had been warned about. Siwa is 8 hours from Cairo, in a direction most people never drive. It's an oasis, ringed by salt lakes, so dense you cannot sink. You lie back and water holds you. And you walk out the color of chalk. It has its own language. No. Yeah. Mountain Camp Al Khalid. With older roots than the Arabic you hear in the rest of the country. The people here did not get absorbed. They held on to who they are. Maybe that's why I felt it most here. I had come the fastest from home, to the place where I should have been the biggest outsider. And these are the most open-hearted people I met in the entire country. In August, I had the Oasis almost to myself. I was not paying less than peak season. I was paying the same price for an empty country.
Nice.
And the people who had held on to their own language, their own names from themselves, had no trouble making room for mine.
Can we go inside?
Okay. This is the children.
2 in the morning, Mount Sinai. I did not tell anyone I was going. 3 hours up in the dark, with strangers from countries I had never set foot in. Nobody shared a language. Nobody needed to. Everybody was climbing the same mountain, toward the same light. The reasons we could not have explained to each other if we tried. In Cairo, Egypt knew exactly who I was. Up here, in the dark, it stopped mattering. No nationality, no name for home, just breath, and a few hundred people who had all decided the same. Worth losing a night's sleep for. 3 religions trace their story in this place. Prophet Musa spoke to God here. I had to see what they saw. I stopped filming for the last step of climb. I needed to be here, not behind a lens. कुछ जगहें कैप्चर नहीं की जाती, सिर्फ फील की जाती हैं.
Photo anything here.
Okay.
Take a photo to the people.
Okay. On day 1, a shopkeeper asked me, why my people don't come here? Here's the honest answer. The one we don't like to say out loud. We have been taught to fear the places we have only ever seen on the news. We let people who had never been there draw the picture for us. But the version of any country worth knowing is the one seen by someone who recognized the street it sits on. Egypt recognized me, and somewhere over 11 days, I recognized it back. That's the version no one films from a tour bus. It only exists if you go. If Egypt surprised you, wait until you see where I went next.